On February 24, 2022, Volodymyr Zelensky faced the most fateful decision of his life. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Western leaders urged him to flee. Exile was on the table, but Zelensky refused. His response became legend. "I need ammo, not a ride." Now, after more than 3 years of brutal war, with hundreds of thousands dead and vast parts of his country in ruins, Zelensky stands before another impossible choice: to continue fighting or to negotiate a peace that could mean giving up parts of Ukraine forever. 3.5 years on, the war grinds on. Russia advances slowly in the Donbass. Ukraine is running short of trained soldiers. Europe now funds much of Ukraine's war effort. And Zelensky finds himself cornered. The momentum is slipping away. Diplomacy is suddenly back on the table. Donald Trump meets Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Then Trump meets Zelensky in Washington. Talks ripple across Europe. And behind the scenes, whispers grow louder: land for peace. Ukraine's constitution demands a return to its 1991 borders. For Kyiv, any change is illegal. For Europe, allowing Russia to redraw maps by force risks setting a dangerous global precedent. But reality is more complicated. Zelensky has quietly hinted that he might, just might, accept changes. After all, constitutions can be amended. And Europe's priority isn't territory itself, but that Ukraine alone makes the final decision. The question is stark. Is peace worth 20% of Ukraine's land? Is it worth Crimea and the Donbass? And what of the soldiers and families who have already paid the ultimate price? If Ukraine were to consider peace, one condition has always been non-negotiable: security guarantees. Without them, any deal is meaningless. At the Alaska summit, Putin seemed open to guarantees. But what does that mean? Guarantees for Ukraine or guarantees for Russia? For Zelensky, guarantees mean American support, military, not just words. And now, Trump signals he might consider it. Some propose creative solutions. Borders could be redrawn de facto, not de jure. Russia's control would be acknowledged, but never legitimized. Just as the West never recognized the Soviet Union's control of the Baltic states. Others suggest NATO-style protections, a Ukraine tied to Article 5, like guarantees without full membership. Peacekeepers under the UN or OSCE might replace NATO troops. But would that satisfy Russia? Would it satisfy Ukrainians? Then there is the Donbass itself. Mineral-rich, but long a decaying rust belt. War has only worsened its decline. Millions have fled. Many who remain lean culturally toward Russia. Some quietly argue, if Moscow wants it, let them bear the cost. Giving up the Donbass would also remove several Russian demands on language rights, the Orthodox Church, and protection of Russian speakers. These would all become Russia's problem, not Ukraine's. But would Ukraine without the Donbass be stronger or simply smaller? Could Zelensky survive politically if he made such concessions? Would Ukrainians see him as a pragmatist or a traitor? Polls now suggest most Ukrainians want the war to end, but land for peace remains bitterly divisive. Zelensky could argue that Ukraine survives, independent, sovereign, holding Odessa and Kharkiv. Finland once survived by compromising with the Soviet Union and thrived decades later. But could Ukraine walk that same tightrope? Or perhaps Zelensky may choose the other path, fighting on. Critics already accuse him of authoritarianism, of clinging to power by canceling elections. Would he risk total defeat to secure his legacy as a tragic hero? Zelensky's choice is no longer about ammo or a ride. It is about the very survival of Ukraine as a nation. Every option before him is perilous. To fight on may cost Ukraine more than it can bear. To negotiate may feel like betrayal. Yet either way, history will remember the man who stood at this crossroads. For Zelensky, and for Ukraine, the impossible choice is now unavoidable. If you found this analysis insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let us know in the comments. What should Zelensky choose, peace or war?